Hi everybody. So I'm doing some more videos, y'all. I've been getting downloads. Let's talk about it. Okay. Some of y'all like the spoon, so I'm gonna keep the spoon in the videos. Um, so some of y'all are probably wondering why your mother never loved you or rejected you. Okay? Some of y'all been probably asking yourself this question, even if your mother's in the grave. And I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why. Some of them are going to be kind of shocking. And some of them may even give you like an aha moment. Okay? Um, so look, sometimes mothers don't love their kids because they felt like their kids may have come at a time when they were supposed to have the breakthrough of their life, and the kid may have been an obstacle in their eyes. So they're bitter, okay? The bitterness built up as they were pregnant with that baby. And they just got bitter and bitter and bitter until it just turned to like, I don't love this baby. I'm just having this baby because of my religion, or to save face, or to not look bad in the family, or not to be everybody talking about me saying I gave up my baby. So sometimes the mother never wanted you, but never will tell you that she never wanted you. Okay? Um, it could be for various reasons. It could be that she felt like it would keep her tied to a man who she despised. Okay, that could be a reason. And she felt like you were like an anchor on her. Like just being pregnant with you was like an anchor. She might have wanted to be still wild in those streets. She might have still wanted to do some toxic things. But you made her want to change. You forced her to change for physically, and she didn't want to. Okay? And so she's holding a grudge. She's holding a grudge. And the grudge went on so long during the pregnancy that now that you have been born, it has turned to like no love. She never had any love, the love happy hormones and stuff during the pregnancy, because she felt like you was an obstacle before you were even born. And she felt like she couldn't do nothing about it without being talked about. So she could have had you only for image purposes. Okay? Now I know that sounds like sick, and you don't know what type of mental health problems your mama may have had while she was pregnant with you. You don't know the lifestyle she may have had. Some people probably never going to tell you that your mom liked to party and run the streets and all kind of stuff. And she ain't telling you that she was doing that and wanted to keep doing that. And you came along. Okay? She might have even knew that she wasn't going to have no help with you. Okay? She might even knew that. So she knew that she was probably going to have a life she wasn't going to like even more than the life that she had before you came along. So all she did was grow hatred towards the idea of being your mother. And anything that is left unchecked and unhealed, it just gets worse, and it festered in her. And then it came out, because you can never hide your true feelings. As much as you think you can never hide, especially from someone who lives with you every day. So your mother could not hide it. And she really didn't care if she could hide that she really didn't want you. She really didn't care if she could hide it. Why? Because you was a child. She felt like you were powerless to stand up to her about it. See? Had you been born a whole grown up, she probably would have just went ahead and said, let me give your grown baby body to somebody else because you're going to know that I never loved you and that I don't love you. You're going to know this. But because she knew you was a child, she knew she could try to trick you and deceive you. But what she could not trick you is energetically. See, kids still have energy and they're vibrating very high. So she could not hide her lovelessness from your energy. Praise the Most High for these videos today. Okay? We're talking about why your mommy didn't love you. If your mommy loved you, that's fine, but don't be rubbing it in. Okay? Or you're going to get put in timeout. We have people in here whose moms don't love them. So don't be shouting that your mom loved you and you love your mom. If you love your mom, it obviously means that she loves you too. Because it's impossible to love someone who don't love you. I hate when people say they love somebody who never loved them. You're lying. You're lying. It's hard to love someone who never loved you. You're deceiving yourself if you think you love that person. Y'all, I came to teach, okay? Do not be in here rubbing it into anybody's face. There's people in here whose mamas never loved them. So no bragging about how much your mom loved you. We don't want to hear it, okay? Show compassion. Show compassion for people whose mom didn't love them. All right? This is a week of compassion. Show compassion. Compassion means not saying, well, you don't have a car, but I do. You don't got a mama, but I do. No, that's narcissistic. Show compassion. Okay? Show compassion. Let me continue. Okay? Y'all like the spoon? You got the spoon. I don't want to have to use it if people are not going to show compassion. I'll use it then. Okay? All right. So your mom hates you. There's some reasons why she might hate you. Now, I gave you the fact that she might have always hated you. She might have hated the idea of you. Before you was even conceived, she said, I am never going to like being pregnant. If I ever get pregnant, it's going to be the worst thing that can happen to me. Some people think being pregnant is a death sentence. Some people really do. Y'all don't know how somebody felt about being pregnant before they was even pregnant by you. Some people was praying up and down that they don't get accidentally pregnant. So it was like the worst news they could have ever received, and they never got over it. Okay? Stop thinking you were made out of love. Every baby wasn't made out of love, and every baby wasn't made on purpose. Y'all, I came to teach. We like to think we all was made out of love. That's nice, huh? Utopia mindset. But that's not always the case. Okay, let me hydrate. Hydration. Okay. Hydration is manifestation energy. You want to get more downloads? Hydrate. Okay. So, another reason why your mama never loved you and still don't love you. Look, love is chemical. It's chemical based. Who knows what she was going through with your daddy or in society? And all of that trickled down to affecting her chemically. So even though you might have been kind to your mom and obedient, the chemical is not there. It's not there. The chemicals. I actually have a book about that. Okay. She don't have it. She don't have the chemical, the chemicals in the empath. She might not even be an empath. So a lot of y'all love to think that y'all mama was an empath when she had you. She might have been in narcissist training when she was pregnant with you. She might have been right at the brink of becoming a narcissist, being groomed by your daddy, her mama, or somebody else when she was pregnant by you. So she didn't have those chemicals that she needed to have when she delivered you that would create a bond. And sometimes it does not kick in. Okay? Sometimes there's a delay and it doesn't even kick in maybe days after the baby's born. Sometimes there is negative energy that came between the mama and the baby when the baby was delivered, and with so much negative energy, it was keeping the spiritual bond from happening all the way. It was keeping the mama from having a solid spiritual bond with her baby. I'm going to speak from personal experience. I had about 5 negative witches rush into my delivery room when I had my baby. I had to literally order my husband to take my baby and take my baby across the room because these witches was demanding to touch my baby and breathe all in my baby's face. And they wasn't even the delivery doctor. They were just some random nurses that was on the floor that came in just to look and breathe in my baby's face. Their energy was blocking my energy connection to my baby. I had to cut them off at the path and tell my husband, go get the baby and go across the room and sit there for a moment and then bring the baby over to me. I had to literally report it to, and the nurse that came to my room, she also was hogging my baby. Every time it was time to do something with my baby, she would want to do it. She would not let me do it. When it was time to clean my baby, she wanted to clean my baby. When it was time to feed my baby, she wanted to feed my baby. There was a nurse doing this, y'all. And she wasn't even changing my bed sheets or nothing. I had to report her to the head nurse. This is a true story. The hospital thought I was going to sue them because they knew how serious that was, that I had the staff of their hospital coming in between me bonding with my baby. I was confused. I was like, I don't know what to do about this because I can feel like there's this energy between me and my baby. I don't know how to get rid of it. Y'all, let me tell you, I started standing up over my baby like a statue. I just kept hovering over my baby because I was just really trying to get their energy out of the field from affecting my bonding with my baby. I started when I took my baby home, I was literally keeping my baby by my side the whole time. I was fighting the devil for my baby. When I tell y'all this, no lie, the devil was trying to keep me from having any love for my baby. It was doing everything possible. Okay? I'm telling you, no lie, this is real. This is spiritual warfare on a mother and her child. It starts before the baby even born. Okay? Negative energy comes for that mama and the baby. The moment that baby is conceived, especially if that baby is born in a powerful psychic time of the year, like big money energy. If they're like a water sun sign or an air sun sign, if we're going to get into elements, or if they're an earth sun or their moon is very abundant, whatever moon was in the sky will make them abundant energy, then the negative energy will come full force to corrupt the bond, to interrupt that bond between the mother and the child. I had to spend months at home alone with my child to purge that negative energy that was between me and her. I didn't put her in preschool. I didn't get a babysitter. It was so strong trying to keep me from my baby that I literally had to homeschool my baby. Let me tell you how strong it was. Something was trying to keep me from loving my baby and my baby from loving me. That my daughter literally one day just started just saying to people, leave my mom alone. Leave my mom alone. I mean, a little taller just saying, leave my mom alone. She was literally feeling the energy. I would have to tell my daughter, it's okay. Mommy's okay. She could feel that something was trying to hurt me so that I can't love her. Y'all, I'm sharing my stories with y'all. I'm sharing my stories. It was trying to interfere with the psychic love connection that me and my daughter had. Because me and my daughter got a very special psychic connection. All right, it's very rare, but it almost didn't happen. Okay, my daughter almost didn't have a mama. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I was in the fight for my life, for my bond with my baby. I had to go into the 10th degree. I didn't see family members. I didn't invite nobody to the house. I didn't put my daughter in preschool. I didn't get no babysitter. For almost 5 years straight, I kept her with me. And anybody that would even try to play mommy, they was immediately kicked out my life. Because I knew that the devil was trying to keep me from my child. I knew. And then the devil tried to come for my child. Even, it's crazy, y'all. I can't even say the other ways. But it was, the devil said, oh, I can't keep you from your child. I can't mess with you loving your child. I'm going to mess with your child loving you. So it went from my child. It went from my child's chakra, heart chakra. My daughter out of nowhere started saying, I hate you. I wish you was dead. And I was like, where is this coming from? I said, the devil didn't went for my child. So what was happening was when my daughter wasn't home, witches was corrupting my daughter at the daycare. They was corrupting her against me. They was manipulating her energy. Because when I would show up with my daughter, they would see how loving. My daughter would give me all kind of kisses on the cheek and hug me. So what they would do is they would wait till I would leave that daycare when my daughter was 6 years old. They would wait till I would leave when I went back to work, and they would corrupt her against me. Y'all, I had to take her out the daycare. I had to take her out the daycare. And I had to ask around for another daycare, and I had to literally investigate the woman's energy. And when I realized she had the energy where she would not come between a mom and a child, then I put my daughter in her daycare instead. This was when my daughter was 6. Okay? But the bond got strong and stronger. And then what happened? A female family member tried to turn my daughter against me. See, look, sometimes y'all mama did not know what to do when she felt like the devil was messing with the bond. She didn't know what to do. And I know y'all not saying to have compassion for your unloving mom. But y'all have to think that during those times, maybe 20 years ago, the world was not that woke. Okay? The world was not that woke. Your mama wasn't around during the real woke, wasn't pregnant with you during a very woke time. She couldn't go on YouTube and find out, like, what is going on? Why do I feel like something messing with my energy with my child? There was nowhere for her to go. Pastor Pork Chop and Chicken and Pastor Chicken Wing wasn't helping her. She didn't realize that she needed to take you and get away from everything that she knew before she had you, because it was interfering with the bond. She needed to cut everybody off. That's what she needed to do. She needed to make it so that it was just you and her. There wasn't no, I'm telling y'all, she had to do ruthless. She had to bring that tower down. Maybe even go ahead and move in a different state and city away from your daddy, because who knows if your daddy was corrupting her in secret. No, a mother and parents are a devotion of secrets. You never know what was going on between them. Okay? And she also needed to get some counseling. And she didn't get none. She didn't have no help. I had books. I had Lamar's class. I had resources to let me know what is this foul energy that keeps trying to come between me and my daughter. It came again yesterday. The devil been after me and my daughter's bond for 20-some years. And this devil will not stop. I was trying to give my daughter a hug and kiss yesterday at her job. Why did this demonic female start huffing and puffing and got real agitated? Like my daughter has to stop serving me and serve her when I came first. It was only when I said, daughter, I love you. This female got real agitated. I had to tell my daughter, the devil don't want to see me love you. I had to tell my daughter straight to her face so she can understand what's going on. I said, the devil don't want me to love you, don't want you to like me. I'm telling you, stop. I'm telling you. These witches don't want us to love each other. Why do you think they're always trying to get you in their house with their toxic sons and hanging out where they got drugs and alcohol and all that? I told her that. I said, why do you think they always saying you could come to my house and you could do whatever you want in my crib? Why do you think they always do that? I told my daughter that's candy. That's like Hansel and Gretel going to the witch's house. I said, that's so that you could be away from your mom, your bond will be crushed, and you will be so toxic and drugged up that you won't even be able to know that you broke the bond with your mom. I had to tell my daughter this. I said, when your man try to take up all your time and his family, they're trying to keep you from your mother. When they want you to always be with them all week long, every single week of the month, they don't want you to bond with your mom. I had to literally tell her this. I said, they want you to lose your inheritance, your house, your property, everything. They know the abundance. They know that your dad worked. They know that your mama worked and then worked. They know that you got property. They know this. Everybody that know you know that your parents keep a car, they keep a crib, they keep money, they keep property, they got a whole lot of assets. Everybody that knows you knows this. That's why they trying to corrupt you. They want you to lose everything by crossing your mom and crossing your dad. I said, let me tell you, when it all go down at the end, this is what I told my daughter. When your dad go down in the ground, all you got is mom here. So they want you to get into it with me so I could get triggered, you could get triggered. We say words that we can't take back, and I don't love you and you don't love me, and they win. They win over your soul. They win your soul. And I had to tell my daughter this, y'all. Okay? Is your mom in jail for killing? You said your mom be killing and stealing and lying. I told y'all I got killers in my family. Plenty of them. I got people that took their own life, that killed themselves. I got people in my family who committed suicide, murders upon murders that will kill anybody in these streets. Plenty of criminals in my family. I told y'all that before. I ain't going to say their names. I got people in my family that did 30, 40 years in jail for serious crimes, even murder. The thing is that you coming along and changing who they are. A baby does not change the person. A person has to be willing to go to God, whether pregnant or not. And they have to be ready. They have to be ready to cleanse themselves. They wasn't going to get clean because they got pregnant with you. Okay? It wasn't. Some of y'all don't realize, and they wasn't going to change their ways because of you. If they showed up toxic before they had you, they're going to be toxic when they pregnant with you. And they're going to be toxic after. Some of y'all think y'all mother didn't love y'all because it's something about you, or she was just going, she was just a bad mom. No, it's her person. It's her character. She would have been like that. It didn't matter. You could have came out as a different baby. You could have been a whole different type of baby. And she still would not have loved that baby because that is who she is. Because she's been corrupted. Okay, she's been poisoned. And she doesn't know how to find herself out of it, and no one has come to help her. Her mother didn't help her. Her father didn't help her. Y'all might be mad at y'all uncaring and unloving mother, but what about being mad at your grandma? Your grandma is half responsible, and so is your mother's dad. Because they seeing your mother unloving and toxic. And they ain't doing nothing about it. Some of y'all say, my grandmother's good to me. But, okay, she seeded her children. Is she going in hard to help her children? Your mom? So how good can your grandma be to you? She don't care about your mom. She know that her child is messy and toxic. But she gonna skip over your mom and love you? No, your grandmother's toxic too. That's toxic. I'm calling it out. Y'all know I pass out some hard pills in my video. Stop praising your grandparents when they threw away your parents like they was garbage. When they didn't get them counseling. They did not get your mom counseling. They did not 302 your mom. They could have 302'd your mom when she was messy and toxic. They should have got a counselor and a therapist in there to deal with your mom's mental health problems early on when they saw the signs instead of letting her out here getting knocked up somewhere. And I'm calling it what it is. Exactly. Now you see your grandma was toxic too. Toxic parents make toxic kids. Take it from somebody to know. Take it from somebody to know. I jumped shit. Some of my family members that stayed around their toxic parents, they're running around here toxic too. You can inherit toxic traits. You have to be willing to go against it. Your grandmother should have nipped it in the bud. Okay? When she saw her teenage daughter was reckless and messy, she should have been trying to intervene. Even when her daughter got in the 20s and 30s, she should have said, I'm going to 302 you. I'm going to take that child off of you. You ain't going to raise this child if you're going to be like this. That's what she should have said. Instead of sitting up there saying, well, I'll bring some gifts and Christmas gifts to the baby. I'll babysit the baby sometime. No, that's not enough. She should have went ahead and took the rights, got grandparent rights to take custody of you. The moment you was born, when she saw that her child, your mama, was toxic. Y'all, why don't you ask your grandmother that? I came out my auntie, my old auntie, my great auntie up the tree auntie. I came at her at my mother's funeral. She wanted to complain and say, everybody fighting and being toxic. I said, then why don't you do something about it? I said, you knew that everybody was fighting at the funeral yesterday. Why did you sit there and not do nothing? Why didn't you start slapping people all up in their face? You should have slapped everybody in their face for fighting at a funeral. And you should have put everybody out. You should have gave everybody a spanking because you're the great auntie. You could have slapped the heck out of everybody. I told her that. I said, why didn't you do something about it? She said, what do you want me to do? I said, you're the auntie. You're the great aunt. I said, but you're the auntie. Now y'all see what I'm talking about. We in families where the old women want to judge the 50, 40-year-old women, but they don't want to do nothing about it and don't want to put them in their place. But they want to sit around and talk about them, don't they? I got 60, 70-year-old aunts that want to sit around and talk about the 40-year-old aunts like a dog. They want to talk about the 40 and 50-year-old mamas like a dog. But they do not want to help them. They do not want to send the nearest pastor to them. They do not want to send a therapist to their house. They don't want to do a welfare check on them. And they don't want to give them a therapist number. They don't want to do nothing, but they want to talk about them. So why are y'all celebrating y'all grandmas? I'm not celebrating none of the women in my family. Because they sat around and let the women be toxic and knew they could have done something about it. That's why I don't talk to my great aunties. I don't talk to them. Because all they do is talk about the younger aunties. When they could have sat up there and 302'd them. Y'all. Period. And some of y'all mamas didn't do that with y'all. Some of y'all was doing stuff that was bad for y'all, and your mama didn't say nothing. Your mama didn't say nothing. Let's keep it real. Some of y'all want to act like you was angels. No, some of y'all was not angels as teenagers. And your mama didn't do nothing. That was toxic. That was toxic. An unloving mama is not just a mama that abuses you. Neglect is also abuse. Lack of discipline is lack of abuse. When your mother didn't discipline you, she was not loving you. She was not loving you. Some of y'all say, oh, my mama just ignored me, didn't do nothing with me, didn't care for me. She also, obviously, she didn't discipline you. Why ain't you bringing that up? How about let's talk about that sometime? My mother never disciplined me. She never gave me ultimatums or consequences for my actions. Why don't you mention that? I'm thankful that my mother at least did that. I am thankful. Because I would probably be a drug addict, alcoholic, deadbeat mama with about 10 kids right now. We don't thank mamas for discipline. We don't see that that's love. It's still love. Like I told my daughter, I said I will not let her live in my house doing drugs and alcohol. I'm never going to support her turning into my house into a drug and an alcohol house where she just in here turning up every day. I told her I would rather put her out and 302 her to sit back and watch that. Now, she was offended. She was outraged. She tried to say I was abusing her. She tried to say that I was overbearing. She was playing the victim. I told her, no, I love you. I love you so much that I refuse to sit back and watch you turn into an addict. I refuse to sit back and watch that. I told her, I called the clinic. I called the medical clinic, and I'm willing to get divine intervention on this because I see where it's going. I don't like where it's going, daughter. I told her that. And because I was tough discipline, she packed her bags and went and lived with her boyfriend. And she thought that she was in the right. She thought. But when she saw that it was taking a toll on her in that fast lane with her boyfriend, and she didn't have the health and the balance that she had here, she came running right on back. She came running right on back and apologized to me and said, I'm sorry, Mom. I realized you was trying to protect me. It's hard being grown. I didn't realize this was hard. I didn't realize. She was like, Mom, this is what my daughter said, Mom, I was smoking a whole lot. I said, I already knew you was, but you kept lying to me. I said, but it's okay. We don't got to hold grudges about it. I said, at least that you realize that I was trying to help you and I was not being a toxic mom. I said, so just make sure you don't get out of control with it again. You know? And she admitted that the doctor even called her out on it and told her she need to cut back, and that's what was making her sick and all that. So she stopped. She doesn't drink that hard liquor or none of that. She don't be turning up all like that. She got her estate. She didn't got promoted several times at her job and all that. So she didn't got herself on track. She's keeping herself clean. When she was turning up every day with that dude, she was dirty. She was stinky. Let's keep it real. I was running into her and she was stinking up a storm. And I had to say to her, like, daughter, do you realize that you smell now? That you like you're unclean? And she was getting triggered and everything, thinking I'm just being a toxic mom or whatever. I told her, I said, come to my house, take a shower, get clean, and let me talk to you. See, I fight for my daughter. I will fight. We will fight. And I don't care if we got to argue up and down the streets. But I'm going to fight for her to stay near God. And I'm going to fight for her to stay on track. And she doesn't have to like me. But if you had a mom that did not fight for you to stay on track, she was still unloving. It doesn't matter if she never hit you. It does not matter if she was going to church every week and praising God and thumping the Bible in the house. It doesn't matter. If she wasn't willing to fight for your spiritual health and your mental health, then she was still an unloving mother. She's allowed to take the seat off your back to punishment. Why do people, I hope you're not complaining. I hope you're not complaining. You knew what you did wrong. If your mother said you can't have your cell phone or you couldn't have your bike because you knew you disrespected the house rules and her, then choke it up and swallow. But don't run around here saying your mother's loveless because of that. She don't love me. She was mean. You know, we're living in a society. I'm not saying you're doing it. Sweetie, I'm not saying you're doing it. But there is people out here in this world that's so quick to say their mother don't love them all because they got some healthy legal discipline. My mother didn't even allow us to have fun unless the house was clean. People would say, oh, that's abusive. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Because now, like, when I get messy and a lot of clutter, I understand why it's so important not to let that go on. I understand now that someone's not going to always come and pick and clean up your mess. My mother was trying to teach us that. That energy, that the way you live outside of you affects who you are, your mental health. If you had a mother that wasn't working on all those areas, that she still didn't love you. But one of the main reasons why your mother may not have loved you and didn't even care about disciplining you in a healthy way, didn't even care if you had a healthy meal, didn't even care if you was skinny or if you was lean or overweight, she didn't care. One of the main reasons is because your mother may have sensed. Now, I'm telling y'all, don't think that your mother wasn't psychic. Everybody has intuition. A mother always has intuition. I don't care if she's high vibration, dark or light. She still has intuition. She may have thought you was going to outdo her. She may have picked up that you were going to have a better life than her. And she feel like you froze her life. You stole her life. And now you growing up and having a better life. You living in a better home than she had when she grew up. You got friends that she didn't have. You got looks that she don't have. You got abilities she don't have. You got freedom, certain benefits in society she doesn't have. You might be dating boyfriends that look better than the ones she dated, built better, better genetics. Some mothers do not see that it's a great thing to have a child do better and be better than them. Some mothers don't see that. Some mothers feel like they was cheated by God, genetics, society, and a family. They feel cheated and they're so angry and outraged about it. And they don't know how to transmute that feeling. Their grandmothers didn't teach them how to transmute that feeling of feeling cheated, all while they got a child this literally, this seems like they just having breakthroughs and benefits out here that they never had as a child. See, let me tell you, I was real good at the acts of transmuting energy in my house. When my daughter would get upset, I would say, okay, let's dance, let's sing, let's breathe, let's go for a walk. I was always honored with that because I knew that she sometimes felt she was cheated by society because of her culture, and when she saw other kids were getting away with that she couldn't get away with, and also she was cheated in the family by other family members, who didn't give her love. I knew that it was causing her to project on me. So I was working on her to transmute that energy so she doesn't crush the bond that we have. And I was making sure that I protected that bond by helping her to transmute. Okay? Now, some of y'all mamas didn't do that. They didn't care. Because instead of transmuting their energy, they treated you like you was their piñata. They treated you like you was just somebody, like a garbage dumpster to just dump all their emotional baggage on, rather than spending one day a week and going to water aerobics to transmute, to get rid of that toxic energy that is affecting them being able to grow the love for you. Some of y'all may wonder, how do Miss V know these things? It is actually, I learned recently that in my natal chart, I'm actually chosen to possibly be a psychiatrist or a therapist or a family counselor. I had no idea that this was one of a part of my soul plan. I've been keeping my mouth shut, y'all. I haven't been really sharing as much as I know. I didn't realize that I've been affecting my own growth, financial growth, and a spiritual growth by not taking my place. I am chosen to be a family counselor. I am chosen. That's why I go through so much with family and in community, because I'm chosen according to my natal chart, the perfect placements to teach y'all about this. I have one heck of a memory about my family. I have one heck of a memory about things that I've gone through, just, in my community and with my family and in relationships. And I'm sharing my life with y'all. This is a gift that I'm sharing with y'all so y'all can understand that I know because I lived it. I'm not teaching y'all nothing I haven't lived. Okay? I used to get downloads about my own mama, that she felt cheated. My mama felt so cheated, y'all. It makes me want to cry. She won't even, my mother is still hanging around, even spiritually, because she still doesn't want to let this life go, because she feels like she did not get to do what she wanted to do, and she doesn't realize she's never going to have another chance in this life. She has to be reborn again, and she doesn't want to accept that. But she used to project on me. And I used to just suck it up, y'all. I used to just suck it up. And I used to just give her more love and more love. I was trying to fill her cup with love that she didn't get from the world, that she didn't get from family members, that she was trying to get from everybody, even her grandmother, even her mother. Her mother didn't love her. Her daddy didn't love her. Her sisters didn't love her. And her best friend didn't love her. My mother was a very unloved woman, and she projected it on whoever looked like her. Because every time she looked like me, she was reminded of her shortcomings, of how she wasn't loved. She had a mirror reflection. She didn't want to see herself in the mirror. When she saw me, it disturbed her peace because I looked like her. And once I started to realize this, I was able to get to a point where I wasn't bitter and angry and pissed off at her. Once I started to stand back and I realized that it was just too hard for her to love me because no one was filling her cup. No one was filling her cup. I can remember giving my mother birthday gifts and she didn't get one single gift from anyone in her family. But she was always cooking and cleaning and running and giving money and doing everything for everybody. And nobody did a damn thing for her. Like, seriously. My mother committed her whole life to taking care of the elderly and homeless people and sick people and kids and people that was mentally sick. And no one ever returned the favor. I saw this with my own eyes. I know y'all want to be outraged that your mother didn't love you, but did you see her suffering? Did you see the degree of her own trauma? Did you see that it was so difficult? She didn't know how to do it, dealing with such trauma that she had. And in them days, they had too much pride to get counseling. People born in the 1950s and in the 60s and all that, they had too much pride. They was not trying to go to no therapist. They had image was meant to lie. They were scared everybody would talk about them. So they just sucked it up. They took the beatings and abuse. My mother was starved out as a kid. She was breadcrumbed and she was beaten really, really bad by her parents. Bad, okay? When I say like hit with ashtrays and blunt objects and all kind of stuff. Okay? So she wasn't taught what love was. Her mother did not activate the love hormones in her. So she had nothing to give. She was always faking the love. My mother always had to like get into the power. Get into it. It was almost like she had to manifest the love every day for us. It was weird. Like she would come home from work and she would be in her room for long periods of time. And it was like she was in there praying to God, like, God, give me the strength to not put my trauma on my kids. I remember growing up, my mother was drinking a lot. Okay? I didn't know. She didn't tell me all of this stuff. I didn't even know my mother was so traumatized till after she died. She died without telling us about her trauma. But I was smart enough that I started to pick up signs and I started to notice things even while she was alive in the last years of her life when I would catch her just crying. Sometimes I would stop over my mom's house and she would be in there just crying down to the ground. But she would never really tell me everything. She would never tell me everything. And then after she would cry, she would go cold and she would go distant. And she would be standoffish. And I literally stopped like saying she was evil. Because I started to see the trauma started to come through the surface. See, as you age, you cannot hide that trauma. Your demons start to get too strong. They get too strong and they start busting out of you and showing themselves. And people start to see them. And that's what happened to my mother before she died. The last few years of her life, I started to see the demons that was disturbing her peace. And I started to understand why she was so hard and very detached sometimes and very so much locked in her room all the time, you know, with her little glass of vodka. And y'all, ooh, God, give me strength. God, give me strength. This is a very, very sensitive subject for me. Very. Because I always knew my mother didn't have the love that she should have had for me. But I came to understand why. Instead of just tearing people down who don't love you, ask why. Find out why. Because you may end up being one of those people. If you keep getting all the trauma that you're getting, If you end up being so traumatized the way they are, you may end up being a person who can't love people. It could be you one day. Yes, these are channeled messages. Yes. These are not with no cards or nothing. These are channeled. You can't even get this information through cards. This is through experience. I am chosen for this field. According to my natal chart, y'all, I went deep diving into into my energy. Okay, I didn't spend like 2 hours every other day for the past week, and God gave me clarity. I had an epiphany. Now, I knew it when I was God tried to tell me back in college that I was supposed to work in psychology and sociology. I had a professor say, you would do really good if you went to school for sociology. You did so good in my sociology class. I literally had a professor say that. Like, I wrote a speech in sociology class, and I got a standing ovation. I mean, all the students that stood up and they were just like clapping. My professor was like, wow, that's why I could write such deep poetry to make people just cry or just stop their heart or shake their soul, because I'm chosen for sociology and psychology. And I'm trying to get y'all to understand that we are here to understand why the things happen to us. But it's not just us. We love to always understand why we are the way we are. But we also have to try to understand why people are the way they are. That is a way of showing compassion. It's still a sense of compassion. I know that you feel it's hard. Like, how can I, when this person did me wrong? See, that's the hardest compassion. You can actually, that's a real test. That's how you're really tested. But let's not forget that some of the most important spiritual people that have come before us, they learned how to do that. They was able to have compassion for people who literally betrayed them. So see if you can work on that. And you will be free from the trauma. That's a part of being free from the trauma. Having at least a little bit of compassion through what your mother did to you, so that you can understand, get to the point of understanding why she did and didn't do the things in your life. And then you can see how you can actually then make it work for you. Like, I'm making it work for me right now. I make it work for me in my writing, on this YouTube channel, in my art, when I sing, all of that. When I do all that, I am still having a little bit compassion. Okay? I wanted to make sure I got that out, so I don't miss telling y'all that while y'all still here listening. Don't get into this matrix thinking of, I don't need to show compassion, blah, 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 blah. Then you're saying that no one else can be traumatized but you. Now you see, if you want to be angry and outraged all the time about it, start being angry and outraged at the people who did that to your mom. Because somebody did it to her. Somebody destroyed your mother's spirit, your grandmother, and probably your grandfather, or whoever your mother was with that might have groomed her. See, back in them days, people got with people young. People was hooking up and getting in marriages at 17, 18, and 19. See, they were able to be really corrupted so young by their narcissistic husbands. So what do you think they were going to do? They're married to a narc. They're the child of narcissists. They have, they was put into a narc tribe in the family. Of course, they weren't going to be able to love you as your mom. They were taught the opposite. My daughter had somebody else's mother trying to turn her into a narc. And my intuition caught it. My intuition caught it. I saw my daughter becoming an opportunist. This was like a year ago, and I saw signs. So I had to intervene. I had to tell her, I had to set consequences. I had to tell her, no, you're going to have to work and earn for things. You're not going to come here and only see me when you want stuff. Somebody is teaching you to be that way. Because that's not how I raised you. I looked her in the face. I said, daughter, that's not how I raised you. I didn't raise you to only show up when you want to use somebody for something. I don't know where you're picking this up from. Because I always had my own money, and your dad always had his own money, and we always worked, okay? We never tried to use people. We never tried to just show up just to get something out of people. So where are you getting this from? I made sure I caught her off guard when I confronted her with that. So now she knows she has to earn. She has to earn things from me. That she ain't going to just keep on getting stuff for free over and over and over and over again. Because I realized somebody had corrupted her. Somebody was making her think that no matter how she acted and what she did, I'm supposed to slave and cater to her. I had to crush it. Because it was bad. It was bad for her personality. So now I noticed that she comes towards me with love. Like when I went to go see her at her job yesterday, and I went to leave after I hugged her, she said, Mom, come on back. Wait a minute so I can give you another hug and kiss. She wasn't doing that for a while because whoever she was living with and whatever of the other mothers she was around, they was corrupting her. Some of y'all don't realize your mother might have been corrupted by other mothers. Okay? I had to cut the godmother of my child off because she was trying to make me think that my baby was ugly. Y'all, this is the true story. When my daughter was a little baby, the godmother of my child kept saying little stuff to try to make me think that my baby was ugly. She was saying like, ooh, your baby got a big head. Ooh, this and little things. I said, know what? I'm tired of you saying stuff about your godchild that's negative, and I'm tired of you shading my baby. And we had it out. We almost got in a fight in my sister's house. Literally. And my sister, like, sided with her, said, oh, I don't think she meant any harm. I said, yes, she did. Yes, she did. I said it was a backhanded insult, and she keeps doing it. I said, I'm not effing with you, and I'm not doing another thing for you for free. Okay? I'm not watching your kids no more, and I'm not talking to her no more. And I never babysitted my nephew again. Yeah, people say, oh, that's messed up. No. Why would I watch my sister's kids when she let that witch sit up there and insult her niece? She let that witch sit up there and insult my baby, a little baby, and going to think I'm going to go ahead and turn up for her kid? No. Nope. I never came to watch her kid again. If my kid going to be, if you're going to insult my baby, then you have to raise your baby without me. Tough love. Only one who bought a house was her. I got nothing. You said you didn't get the house when she died? Okay, let me ask you a question. Did you earn it? See, this is an interesting thing. Before we sit up here and say our mothers was loveless, do you think you're entitled to everything without taking care of your parents and looking out for them? You being born isn't enough for you to be left property, money, wealth, and all that. No, siree. No. So that subject right there, I don't know if you looked out for your mother in the last years of her life. If you just stopped over every couple months or you just called every couple months, why do you think you was entitled to some house and some money and property? You're not. She might have told you you was going to get that property because at the time you was caring about her and coming to see her on a regular. But if you fell off and you really wasn't saying about her, then why do you think she should still give it to you? She has a right to change her mind. She has a right. I'm like Judge Judy. If you don't check on me monthly, you get nothing in here. If you cannot look out for me monthly, if you cannot come through on a monthly, like Judge Judy said this in her court case I saw one day. She said, "Let me tell you, if my family did not see about me on a monthly basis, I'm not leaving them no wealth." Okay, it doesn't cost nobody nothing to stop over with a basket of fruit and say, "Hello, how you doing?" And bring a can of chicken noodle soup just in case I'm sick or something. It ain't costing nothing. But to say you so busy, I was busy for the whole month, but I'm supposed to get your bank account money when you die? No. Nope, I'm not gonna sit here and cater to people who just want me to say, well, that's messed up, knowing that they may have or probably deserve to be kicked out of a will. Ask yourself, did I deserve? What did I do to earn that inheritance? Me just being somebody's child in blood? No. Now, in my case, it was wrong. Okay? And my sister tried to fix it. I was kicked out of everything, and it was wrong. You know why I was wrong? Because I spent well over 10 years looking out for my mother. And I mean on a regular. Okay? On a regular. The day my mother died, I called to see about her. She wasn't even in a hospital or nothing. She was at home. It was Valentine's Day. I called my mom. I said, "Mom, how are you doing? What's going on?" She said, "I got to call you back." So I called my mother on holidays. I called her even other days of the week. If she needed a ride, I gave her a ride. If she was sick, I brought her chicken soup. If she needed medication, I brought it. I would stop over there and take her to her appointments and all of that. What happened was my mother had got so sick and her mind wasn't right that people started influencing her. And someone, I don't know who did that, but someone convinced her to leave me out the will. And I got this as a download. God told me because I had a husband. Somebody made my mother think that it was okay to leave me out the will because I already had a husband. Because I had a husband and I had property already. So somebody literally corrupted my mother. I know who did it. I know who did it. I am extremely psychic. Okay? I know who did it because they told on themselves. The day my mother died and we was in my mother's house, when they knew where those title policies were, I knew they were the one that corrupted my mother. Because I was the only one that knew where those title policies were. My mother told me where they were in secret. She told me that she had stocks, she had land, she had title policies. She told me, she said, if anything ever happens to me, all the information is here. She showed me where her secret area was. But the fact that they were not in those areas when she died, that they were laying out. My mother was a private person, and her biggest title policy was laying out on a couch. And 2 people was in her house that day. 2 people was in her house that month. One of those people told my mother to change her will and her policies, to leave me out of it, to make them in charge of my part of the money. That because I had a husband. Because I had a husband and I was married for years, that I should not automatically get money. I should be wait till everybody else get their money, and then if there's any money left, I get it. I know exactly who scaled my mother that way. I know exactly who did that. And she's in the judgment of her life. I mean, her kids turned against her. Her husband don't really care that much about her. She's going through marital problems. She's going through parenting problems. Her world is coming down. God is bringing her world down for that. And I'm not talking to her so I don't get in the way. And the other person I know that was involved, who was going to my mother's house on a regular basis, he got put back in jail. He always had an attitude with me. He was against me with my aunt. So he set that up as well. He got put right back in jail within a couple weeks after my mother died. He got his karma. And in the end, one of the people felt guilty about it and tried to give me my share of the money. You know what I did? I sent the money right back to them. I said, give it to the grandkids. Give it to the grandkids. I didn't want nothing to do with the money then. I didn't want nothing to do. I said, after it's been in their hands and they're just trying to get out of their karma, their conscience is messing with them, and now they want to give me this money? No. I said, give it to the grandkids. And that's what I did. See, that's how covered and favored I know I am. And after this happened, y'all, this channel had the breakthrough of its life. I got $30,000 under a year just off this channel, and I was working at a bank 60 hours a week. I grossed that year more money than I grossed in a long time, because the creator said, I'm going to give you everything that they blocked you from. All the gifts and jewelry and all that. The creator made it all come, and the creator's still making it come. I'm still getting it. Why? Because I earned my inheritance, and these witches stole it from me. And then they knew that something was was going to happen to them. I don't know if they got downloads, but then they tried to reverse it and like, oh, we're going to give you your money. I said, no, you can keep the money. You can keep it. Give it to the kids. I literally had the money and I rushed it right to the grandkids. That's why I tell y'all, when I tell y'all on this channel, I am covered. I'm covered because y'all see what I did. Even when they tried to send me the money to reverse the little sneaky stuff that they did, they were putting stuff in my mom's head about me, lies and stuff and all of that. So you know what I did? I showed them that I really was trying to help my mother who was traumatized. So I'll show y'all that I was. I'll give all the money to the grandkids. And that's what I did. I gave my daughter some of the money for her college education. I gave my nephews money, my niece money, all of that. And guess what happened after that? One of my relatives messaged me, and they told me they were putting me in their will. They put me in their title policy. So they're leaving me money. See, I didn't even know that they were going to do that. I had always just answered the calls and talked to them, because I'm a caring person. So God is coming through for me, even through another family member. See? Because God don't play. When people try to come between a mother and her child, and the child doesn't deserve that, everybody involved is going to suffer. So don't worry about it. If somebody corrupted your mother against you, you're going to have the last laugh like I am. I'm having the last laugh right now. All those witches that tricked my mama, they're all real fat. They didn't put on 100 pounds. They look real old. I mean, real old, y'all. They living, they don't got no abundance. I had a family member tell me that they're broke, that they're struggling, that they're losing money, that they got dumped in everything, that they're getting dumped in their marriages and relationships because God is bringing all their houses down. All their houses down. And I'm not even talking to them so God can finish them off. I won't answer their calls, nothing. So God can finish them off. So that they don't block my abundance again. They will never block me again because I will never ever deal with them. We will never be friends and family. We will never have love between us ever again. It's the moral of what they did. And they knew that I broke my back for my mother. I used to drive a whole hour to just take my mother to her doctor's appointment and just to sit there in the waiting room for as long as it took. And to just drive a whole hour just to go grocery shopping for my mother, just to get her meds, just to get her home, just to take her to whatever store she wanted to go to. This was on and on and on for years, on and on. And they would do me like that. Well, that's why their houses are coming down. Exactly why. Yep. You keep your toilet paper, dirty money. Exactly. Sometimes y'all need to not accept money. Money can be cursed. I'm trying to tell y'all. When a narcissist change their mind and they want to give y'all that money, you need to be like, I'm cool. I'll be telling y'all, man, I'm telling y'all, sometimes money can have spell work on it. That's why I was scared, y'all. I noticed certain things was happening when they gave me the money. I noticed I was like tempted to drink a lot. All of a sudden, I wanted to drink a lot of alcohol. Soon as they put that money in my hand, and I told y'all that I've always been in a battle with alcohol. Y'all know why. Some of y'all know why. I done told y'all what happened to me as a kid. That I had an auntie basically try to overdose me on alcohol. She kept forcing me to drink whiskey when I was a toddler. Okay? She was pumping my body with whiskey until I passed out. My auntie turned me into an alcoholic when I was only 2 years old. Okay? She triggered my alcoholic genes that my father got. And my mother got. She triggered it by giving me whiskey when I was a 2-year-old. I had a very strong thirst for alcohol since all growing up. All growing up, y'all. I always wondered, like, where did I get this such a strong threshold to drink? And I started getting memories of being pumped with alcohol. And I thought that was just like, I was delusional. Until one day my aunt actually said it. Y'all can imagine how shocked I was. I was at my uncle's funeral. And she said, remember, my aunt Satini said this. Remember we used to give Mimi all that alcohol? We used to give her liquor so she would pass out. When she was a little girl, we used to give her whiskey when she was 2. Remember that? Y'all, I looked at my aunt. I could have committed murder. Like, I'm going to just keep it real. If I wasn't at a funeral, I probably would have caught a case. But I just looked at her in devastation. And what got me is nobody came for her. Like, nobody said, you were wrong for that. All right, this is the same aunt that used to beat me up when I was a toddler. She would just beat me up. Okay, they knocked my teeth loose, y'all. Y'all, my teeth, my jaw, from being beat by this witch. She would babysit me and beat me and beat me and beat me. just to beat me. Her and my other cousins, older cousins. And then they would act like, oh, they didn't do nothing to me. Or they would tell my mom, oh, she fell and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, they was beating me. I used to think that these were just nightmares. Y'all, when I would dream them, when I would dream these memories, I used to be like, whoo, whoo, these is nightmares. These is nightmares. I was shocked to find out that they was repressed childhood memories coming to the surface. I was shocked. I was shocked. And this woman, and let me tell you how God punished her. God has forbidden her to have a baby. She's barren. I'm telling y'all, God do not play about the vile ones. My auntie has been made barren. God will not give her a baby. She has never been able to conceive because what she did to me. She is a 60-something-year-old woman with no babies, but always wanted babies. You know why she's not getting a baby? Because she hurt someone else's baby. How did I get over it with the alcohol, y'all? Let me tell y'all, it's y'all, it was real hard, y'all. I still, there's not a day that goes by that I don't hear that demon. You know, I've been fighting that demon for years. For years. Like, you know, sometimes I hear it. It says, go over there and just get real drunk. Yeah, drink, 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 drink. This demon has been stalking me since I was a toddler because my aunt brought that demon in my life. Okay? There's sometimes I will leave home all day and I will go where I try to avoid where there's bars or whatever because I can hear it. Like, do it. Go ahead. Just get drunk and throw your life away. I even hear the demon say, drink, 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 and then kill yourself. Yeah, just do it. Because my aunt put that demon on me. Okay? I'm being totally unguarded with y'all. I'm being totally unguarded. Okay? I had a real bad, huge, humongous breakdown after my mother died. The demon knew it could get me. I was in my bedroom. I don't even remember how it began, but I woke up with empty bottles of wine near my bed. I don't think I passed out. I think I just went to bed because I was nice and cozy. But I literally drank like 2.5 bottles of wine in one night to the wig, like by myself, y'all. By myself. Okay? And I was like, wow. You know, one time I looked in my kitchen and I had all these bottles of moonshine. And I'm like, what, I'm going to drink all this moonshine? Y'all gave those bottles away. I said, take this moonshine. Y'all, I just started giving out alcohol. Now I will not keep more. I will not keep more than 2 bottles of alcohol. And I will never have it in my room. Okay? I purposely keep 2 bottles to remind myself of the battle that I'm in, to test my strength, to stand up to the demon. I want to see it. I want to face it every day. Okay, that's bold and it's ballsy. I'll go in my kitchen and I'll look over at it and I'll be like, I beat you. I'm beating you every single day. I'm beating you every single day. You know, I remember one time I got in an argument with my husband about, you know, alcohol. And he said, you can drink me under the table. You drink more than me. You can drink more than me. Y'all, he literally caught me out. I was like, you know what? You're right. I I may have stopped drinking. I may not drink, very seldom ever drink. But when I do drink, I can drink you under the table. You're right. I said, but I don't want you. He said, you drink hard liquor. You can drink hard liquor all day and drink me under the table. You can drink wine. That's alcohol. That's real alcohol. I'm drinking beer. And I said, you're right. You're right. He said, you don't drink anymore, but don't be a hypocrite and call me out. I said, I just don't want you to end up like me. I don't want you to cross over. I said, because beer does nothing for me. I could drink a whole case of beer and walk around here sober and be cool. Okay? Because my body has been trained to need liquor because that's what my auntie did to me. That's what my family did to this body. But my thing is what I'm saying is that some of y'all don't realize that you're not the only one that you was done that way. My grandparents gave my mother alcohol. They corrupted her and her siblings, and they corrupted me. And it just went, and they thought, I got smart. I was like, I refuse to do this to my daughter. I refuse to do this to my daughter. And I just won't, y'all. I remember my daughter's friends coming over, and they were having like a party or whatever, and they were like, your mom's not going to drink at the party? My daughter was like, my mother, if she drinks a wee bit, and she doesn't like to drink around me. She really doesn't do drunk parties and turn up and stuff. She's not into that. They were like, oh, wow. And they were kind of shocked because it's like normal now. People just turn up with their kids, like literally. And my daughter, she knows that I'm a natural, genetically groomed alkie. She knows this because I told her, but she's never seen it. And she's never been exposed to it, and I never bring it in her life. But she do know this, though. So, if I go to have champagne or a little bit of wine, she'll protect me. She'll be like, Mom, only a little bit, okay? I say, yeah, I have a little bit, daughter. I'm not going to put you through that. I'm not going to do it. But she gets a little anxiety because she knows I told her the truth, okay? That I grew up drinking tequila. I was literally a 10-year-old, 11-year-old drinking tequila like it was water, like tequila bottles, okay? That's how serious it was. And, I met my husband right when I was getting out of control with it. And he fought for me. He did fight for me. He did try to, he did say, you can't keep doing this. You're going to kill yourself. He said, I drink some beer sometime, one day a week, but you're literally drinking liquor every day. He told me this to my face. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to work on it. And I'm just going to work on it. And I went through the detox. I went through shakes, mood swings, angry, you name it. Okay. Until now, my body doesn't crave it as much as it used to. The craving is still there. The psychological part of, it would be nice to just slam a bunch of 151 shots. I would love to do that. Like, just take 10 to the head. I can still hear the demon, but it doesn't have control over my heart anymore. Okay? But this would have never happened if my mother wasn't corrupted by her alcoholic mother. Her mother was an alcoholic. She became drinking vodka. And she met a man who was an alcoholic. It just went not in. It's just a cycle that just went down the tree. This went on down. And at some point, y'all got to break the cycle. Your job at this point is not to keep all this anger towards your mom. Your job is to not pass it down the line. Do not take her toxic ways to your kids. Ask yourself, am I being like my toxic mama? That's your job at this point. Yes, it can be a generational curse. I know people say they can't imagine me drunk. I was drunk. I was like wino drunk. You know wino drunk? You know what a wino is? I drank so much that by 25 years old, I destroyed my gallbladder because I drank a lot. All I did was drink and eat fast food. All I did was walk the streets and look for the nearest drunk party. I would literally go to any party where there was alcohol. If there was alcohol, I was there. I was the one throwing all the drunk parties. My husband didn't throw no drunk parties. I planned them all. I got all the alcohol. I hold myself accountable for that. This was before my daughter was born. I didn't get so drunk so many times in my early 30s and I'm sorry, my early 20s before my daughter was born. I got so drunk that I used to call my husband to come get me. I'd be laying on the ground in the alleyway somewhere drunk. I didn't had alcohol poisoning like 3 times. One time I had to get my stomach pumped in the ER. I'm being unguarded. I'm telling y'all. Y'all think that this level of I'm at spiritually, that this was easy? It was one hell of a fight. I was fighting a demon. This demon ain't no joke. This demon had me waking up in lawns and parking lots and alleyways and don't knowing how I got there and drunk as hell. And still looking for alcohol. Calling different people at payphone booths. It taught me a lot. It taught me too much, y'all. Frankly, I wish there was some things I didn't know. This world will take advantage of you when you're high and you're drunk. I've been taken advantage of sexually more than once being so drunk. There was nothing I could do. There was nothing I could do. I woke up in a parking lot, in a grassy lawn with my pants down. Make it make sense, y'all. I woke up in a grassy parking lot that was where everybody could see with my pants down and still don't know what the hell. I just remember being drunk and some dude saying hi to me, and he obviously raped me because I don't remember nothing. I think he put something in the alcohol. And I woke up with my pants down with no memory of what was done to me. It still hasn't come back to this day. And when I finally hunted him down and found out where he lived at and confronted him and said, "Did you do something to me?" He laughed it off and would not tell me what he did. These are true stories. I was in an alleyway one day so drunk and drugged up that so drunk, I called my one girlfriend and I told her that, because I had a miscarriage, y'all. That's when my alcohol got real bad. When I lost my first baby. I was clean and then I got pregnant and my baby died. That was when the devil got me full blown. I called my friend. I was sitting in the alleyway and I said, "Well, I'm going to die now and be with my baby." She said, "No, you're not. Where are you?" And I told her where I was at. And she came and she literally stuck her finger in my throat and made me throw up because I had alcohol poisoning. I literally attempted to drink myself to death. Literally. I have locked myself in bathrooms back then after my miscarriage and tried to drink myself to death. And my husband had to talk me to open the door, demand to open the door so I wouldn't do it. I was waking up with a bottle of Crazy Horse right beside my bed. I was laying in the mattress on the floor in the attic with a bottle of Crazy Horse right beside my bed. As soon as I wake up, I drink it. That's somebody to want to die, y'all. This is real. I learned through drinking that if you it is real easy to get rid of yourself. It's too easy. There ain't nobody really gonna fight for you on a daily basis. You might as well just start fighting for yourself. You might as well just start. Did nobody send me to the nearest rehab? Did nobody? This was some, it wasn't happening on a regular. Wasn't nobody monitoring me or nothing. I could have easily drank myself to death easily. I don't even know how it didn't happen. Frankly, I must have had ancestors trying, working on me or something, because I just don't see how it didn't happen. Hi, yours truly. I know it's hard to believe. I know it's hard to believe. Now y'all see why I seem like I have so much compassion. I be like, have compassion, have compassion. Because I've been there. Okay? I've been at the lowest, the lowest, the lower low. When I tell y'all so damn low, y'all, when I tell y'all so damn low. Whenever I think I'm at a low point now, I remember I think about myself laying on the ground with alcohol bottles around me. I think about how I was going to the same bar every day with shots of liquor lined up in front of me and putting the liquor on fire and with my fingernails catching on fire and not even caring. I say, no, I've been lower than this. I say it all the time. I've been lower than this. Try it. It works. Say, devil trying to get me. I've been lower than this, devil. Nice try. I've been lower than this. Y'all, I was so low at one point that when I lost my baby, I walked off my job. I just literally just walked off my job and just went into drinking. I walked off my job and went to the liquor store. I didn't even put my notice in. I literally just walked off my job and went to the liquor store and spent all the money up that my husband had to separate. We had to separate bank accounts. And there was never no food because I was drinking. I was drinking it up. I was running. I was going to the projects, the ghettos, and drinking with different people and playing poker games and gambling, drinking. I was gambling and stuff. Y'all, it was crazy. Gambling with strangers. I could have got killed, literally. And I was doing that. And I remember we only had buttered noodles to eat because I wasn't buying any groceries because I was drinking. I would say, "Where's the food at?" My husband would be like, "You didn't buy no food. You're drinking. All we got is buttered noodles." And I would be like, "Why do we all we have is buttered noodles?" It was almost like I was like not realizing that I was toxic. And then I don't know if an angel touched me, but then one day I said, "I'm not gonna do this. I gotta find a way to work through this trauma." So I decided to learn how to design websites. I met someone online who volunteered to teach me, and then I went to school for writing. And once I started writing again, then I was able to fight. I was able to fight the alcohol. I was able to fight the demon because the demon tries to get me when I'm not writing. It says, "You're not writing. Go get drunk and kill yourself." It says that to me, y'all. I can have the happiest day. I could be in the bestest mood. Everything could be going well. And if I don't write for a week, the demon goes in hard on me. Some of y'all don't realize that your soul plan is literally a part of how you will beat your personal demons. That's another reason why you have that soul plan. You have to do a little bit of each day. Like sometimes I write about life. I write about relationships and loss. I write a lot about loss and grief and trauma and pain and heartache. Because that's how I'm beating the alcohol demon. That's how I'm beating it. Some of y'all own little personal demons. I don't know. It might be doing drugs. It might be smoking or crack or lust spirits or playing with yourself all the time or cursing all the time. Because that could be also a demon when you can't stop cursing. If you can't stop spending money, you got spending addiction. That could be a problem. You got to do your soul plan, because if you don't, soon as you get lazy with your soul plan, that demon coming for you. Oh, I'm glad I can help everybody. Yep. You got to fight for yourself. If you want to really fight for yourself, you have to do some of your soul plan. If you don't know your soul plan, look at your natal chart. Your natal chart don't lie. It does not lie. It does not lie. Y'all have been tricked. Let me tell you, these money hungry world leaders don't want you to see your natal chart. They want you to think that that's wicked and it's bad and it's not true and it's fake. They want you to think that. They do. But when I tell y'all your natal chart, it really is true. When I got the digging in the mind last week, I got shocked. I'm still kind of really shocked just how true and accurate it is. It literally said that it said in one of my houses, and in another part, you will have family members. Your family members will not treat you as equal, even if you're good enough, even if you are pulling your weight. Your family members will not treat you right. It said you will have to learn how to be on your own and build your own tribe and be independent and get your own money. And then when you build, it said, when you go off and you build your own family, that leads to your wealth. It literally said that. And then I knew I had a very special psychic connection with my daughter. Okay, I could literally pick up her thoughts and she could pick up mine. And then I looked at my natal chart and I looked at hers, and we got her sun sign matches a very important place in my chart. My daughter is very important for my success. Okay? She's like a big part of the wish energy in my chart. So that's why we're very connected psychically. Like, I'll be like, oh, I want to eat. Yeah, let me order from her job. Like, I'll know she's there. Even though I don't know her work schedule, I will know she's there. I'll be thinking about her, and then she'll say, Mom, you just came to my mind. I'm calling you. But when I looked at our chart,